This episode, it is all about an urban holiday. I know that if you live in a small space, you still want a great taste. And on today's show, I'm going to show you how to do everything that traditional turkey dinner with all the sides and the stuffing, but we're going to kick it up and we're going to get some help from the store to make it all easy. And in fact, I'm going right to my tablet where you can follow me online. We're going to start with our glazed turkey, and it's going to have this pepper cumin glaze on it with apricot. I think you're going to love it. But the first step always is to getting your stock going. And I have the end of the heart of my celery in this pot over here. I have all the extra pieces for the turkey neck, a couple extra legs. I've got big chunks of celery, as you can see, a cube of butter, about a half a bottle of white wine. This is gonna be my chicken stock for the entire meal. Make it homemade, it's wonderful. Now, I'm making my mom's cornbread stuffing, and it's got a little bit of a cheat in it, but one of the things that she always did was put fresh celery on top of the sauteed celery and onions, which is what I have going on right here in the pan. I have these beautiful celery and onions that have been roasting down, and they're a nice soft saute. But when I bite into the stuffing, I like a little bit of texture, so I put some raw on right at the last minute. That way, when we incorporate everything, it's gonna have some bite and some lovely flavor and some color. Well, I'm kind of taking a trip to the Southwest on this turkey. You know, I went to school in Arizona, and I have these two beautiful nieces, and my sister-in-law and brother, we used to go south of Tucson to this little place called a chili factory, and they had all these red pepper chili candy canes and popsicles and things, and I've really come to love the flavor. So I'm adding some whole beautiful, look at these gorgeous orange peppers to my stuffing. Well, I'm telling you about the chili pepper because my niece used to sing that when she was about 3 years old and wag her little tail just so that she could get a chili pepper popsicle. We'll put this in here. You notice that I'm taking very, very large chunks of my pepper, and I'm doing that because I want texture. I don't like a mushy stuffing, and this really helps permeate that flavor. All right, I think that too will do it. Now, last thing in my stock, I do this at the very end. I take an entire onion, skin and all, and I just drop it right into my stock pot. All right, well, you're gonna need a cheat sheet when it comes to a holiday dinner, especially with an urban bite. So back to my tablet I go. Next up is gonna be Mom's cornbread stuffing. This was the big thing that we did as a kid. Let me pull all the ingredients aside. Now, she always got some help from the store. I like using day-old bread, but the end of the story is these beautiful products are already pre-seasoned for you. So I have some cornbread stuffing, 2 packages, and then the fun begins. A bag of corn chips, which if you want to get the kids involved, they can pound these and smash them. Again, my pet peeve with stuffings is everything is too mushy, so nice, large chunks. It's gonna bring a saltiness and a flavor to your stuffing like you've never seen before. All right, we have got to stop talking and get working. That means we're going to add, pull that forward. We're going to add our beautiful, look at how bright and large those are compared to most stuffings that you see. Once it's inside that bird, it's gonna cook down. There are the onions on the top. We're gonna wanna make sure we get all that in. Now, I like this to cool down a little bit more, but because you're at home and I'm here and we're on TV, we're gonna pick it up a little bit. If you wanna use some rubber gloves, you can do that to mix this in, but we wanna fully incorporate the stuffing with all of our corn chips. Now, I've taught you all about an 8-ounce ladle, which is really the way to go, and we just start spreading this over, reaching. How much easier is that than opening up all those cans of chicken stock with all that extra sodium? Pure flavor going right in, 2 or 3, 4 maybe, depending on how much you like it. Remember, that bird is going to drop all of those flavors, so we're gonna want to incorporate that fully. And here's where the flavors of the day come in. When you think poultry and you say, what's that smell, that holiday smell? What you're smelling is sage. And today I'm going all fresh with these giant chunks of fresh sage, which I have waiting right here. Got some really good, And these are gonna cook down. Really rustic and beautiful chunks of sage right on top. That's gonna go inside my turkey carcass. Okay, I think this is ready for what God gave me, my hands. It's a little hot, but we're gonna get that fully incorporated. Now again, this is pre-salted, so the only thing I really wanna add here is going to be some ground pepper. I guarantee you I'm gonna have stuffing on my hands in this episode. Look at the beautiful colors of the sage, the pepper, everything that you wouldn't expect. And even then some. Now some cumin in there is gonna make this beautiful as well. Using a slotted spoon just because I can manage it. Okay, clear my board. Last thing in is I'm gonna take this poblano pepper and drop it right into that stock. All right, Mr. Birdie, poultry safety is always key. And I'm gonna transfer my parsley over here because that's gonna go in as well. Let's watch out for that, there we go. I'm sure you've all had your Thanksgiving nightmare stories, and we certainly did in my family. In the days of the frozen birds, I remember my mother putting it in at about 3 in the morning and going to check on it, and she had never turned the oven on, and we had a very frozen turkey. So I think everybody has a story like that. Let me set this aside. Okay, we are ready to dress and stuff the bird. I have a beautifully freshly grown organic bird. It's been washed, it's been dried, it's clean, and now we're gonna really get down and serious on how we season this. So what I like to do is take a very good sea salt, pick that bird up, and you go right inside, making sure that carcass is fully salted all the way around the side. This is the messy part. Wonderful. Okay, next then, I'm gonna show you how to stuff this baby and keep it beautiful. I think we'll just come right over here. Find a great stock pot. You can tell mine is beautifully worn, and grab that turkey and you're gonna put it wings down right into that stock pot. Just like that. Okay. Now we have a perfect vessel. I'll turn it to you that way so that we can stuff our bird without getting it all over. We're gonna actually, that'll work out a little bit better if I switch places and bring the stuffing to you. I think you can see that better. All right, here is our stuffing going into the bird. Notice when it falls away, it goes onto a tray, easy for cleanup. I also like to sprinkle in just about this time some wonderful pre-sliced apples. Okay, that's gonna fill it pretty quick. I like those right in the center. All these great products from the store help so much. And I like to also add some sun-dried cranberries right in there. Okay, Tom is good. Let's end with a little bit more of that beautiful pepper. We're gonna fill that nice and tight. Now, if it's feeling a little dry to you, right about this point, again, this is your workbench, 8 ounces right down into the cavity. So much easier than trying to scoop it in. And it's okay if it spills because that's where you're going with it. All right, big flavors of sage. We're gonna pick those stems up, put them right in the bottom there. Now, I use an instant read thermometer, which means you put it in instantly, but for purposes of transporting this, I'm just gonna pop it through the old Pope's nose, stick it in the breast, and that's gonna seal that up. All right, now we've gotta get it to our roasting pan, and I think I can do that right here for you. So I have my good old holiday roaster. It's all beat up, and in the bottom, I wanted to show you I have halves of potatoes. These potatoes are gonna be my rack to hold the turkey, and once they baste all over everything, this is going to be the most amazing turkey you have ever seen, because those potatoes are going to be our smashed potatoes. Now here's what I do. Take this wing and tuck it in. All right, with those wings tucked under, now I'm gonna start adding some beautiful herbs. I've got big chunks of rosemary, fresh, that I'm gonna lay inside What a beautiful picture in addition to a fantastic flavor. Now, here is some sage butter. I've just mixed sage with some table butter, and I'm gonna spread it all over the body of the turkey. You wanna get those edges on the legs so that they don't scorch, and then I'm gonna give you my absolute best trick that I've ever learned, and that is by covering the turkey in a big dishcloth or cheesecloth. In this case, I'm gonna use some cheesecloth, which I've got at the store. What's gonna happen is we're gonna baste all over it. It's like a shroud. And every time we baste, which by the way is every 20 minutes, this guy's gonna go in at 450 for the first 10 minutes to get it rendering. And then we're gonna go down to 325, 20 minutes per pound until we have a safe reading on our instant 160 or above. Let's hit it with just a bit of stock, and we're ready to go.